All right. So I think we will be waiting for a few people to join. I hope they have registered. Yes. So see some people joining. Awesome. So great to have you guys. I think I see one, two people are joining, and hope to have you, the rest of you also join this information session. I will start in a few seconds with our introductions. What we also intend to do is we want to give you a bit of overview of who we are, what we do, and then we will give you a bit of walkthrough and also take your questions if you have any around our information session. The information session we will probably be doing a few times until we launch our final course, which is the 1st of November. In this information, if for some strange reason you are not able to join, we will record it and we will share with you in email, so you get a full sort of recorded version of what we spoke with the rest of the people, and how we want to bring our LiveaI's platform live. So I have a few people. I won't wait because I know it takes time, people logging in, and since this is a live session. So my name is Terry. I am CEO and co-founder of LiveaI.eu and a few other startups like DeepKafa.ai, which is a research startup, and RealAI. It is more a commercial startup with which we launch our applied AI projects, and we work with institutional grants, European Union, and also commercial customers. So that is a bit of a focus of who I am and what I have done so far. With me, I have Dr. Tanishta Mehti. She is, yes, I should actually also, I was told that I should be like, hey, guys. So she is a management team member. She's head of special projects within DeepKafa. And Dr. Mehti is also our instructor, AI instructor, who will guide you through her session. But she will introduce herself and she will talk about herself in a few seconds. But I want to first start talking about what is LiveaI. Since you're a few of attendees who will be kind of participating in our beta program, so I want to make a very clear distinction between what are we going to do on the September on the 24th and what is coming on the 1st of November. So on 24th of September, we will be working with UTDallas, and we are launching our beta program. This is an opportunity for students and also community members within Dallas and also anywhere in the world, actually, to participate in this beta, get a look and feel of our product, and also give us feedback on how you have been experiencing this journey. We will give you a full walkthrough of how the journey will look like week to week. The purpose of this beta is not a full 5 weeks program, which is Applied AI Essentials. The purpose of this beta is to have just 1 week of this whole program. So we are giving you a slice of this 5-week program, and that is week 3, which is deep learning, and that I will be doing together with my TAs and schoolyard team. So that is the first important thing I wanted to get out of the way. So there was some confusion. Some students were reaching out and saying, hey, there is a course on the 1st of November, but I signed up for the 24th of September. So I hope that is clear now. What is going to be launching on the 1st of November is our full course of Applied AI Essentials. So Applied AI Essentials is actually the essentials of the full track of what we actually do when we teach our students around the world, and also when we work with our customers. It takes into account of the fundamentals. It goes into the journey of machine learning, Then we look into deep learning. And then the last 2 weeks, we spend our time doing applied AI projects. We call them Hive projects. So that is a bit of a little high-level information around what an applied AI project is. And the Applied AI Essentials actually is covering that 5-week track. So that starts on the 1st of November. And so that is the second important information for you to know. And then maybe just to get also very clear about the wait list. The wait list is for people who would like to apply for the 1st November course. The wait list gives you a discount of 10%, which is reasonably attractive. Our course is also not so expensive, so our goal is to bring it to the masses, to all of you. But still, we want, since it's a big, our opening training program, we want to offer the initial members. That's a good question. I will answer that, Krishnamurthy. It's to give the initial discount, so you're the first training program. So very good. So let me see. What do you mean by a cohort? Let me just. Oh, here. So Krishnamurthy has a question already, which is great. I like it when it's interactive already right from the beginning. Perfect. So schoolyard team is a concept we will be using. So for instance, let's say our first program, we get 150 students. I'm just giving a rough example. And schoolyard essentially is a concept in which we bring all the students into a channel, a workspace where everybody can interact with each other. The schoolyard team comprises of schoolyard mentor and our teaching assistants who will be online on a 24/7 basis on all time zones in US, in Europe, and in India. So our goal is to provide you continued assistance when you are doing your projects with us. And the schoolyard concept is almost like what we actually say when we say, you get out of the class, you talk in the schoolyard to talk about your problems, that, hey, I didn't understand it. Then in the schoolyard team, our TAs will guide you to your specific problem. So that is a bit of LiveaI. We will continue to talk about LiveaI, actually. So that's what this whole session is. I hope you got enough information of who I am and what was my vision with LiveaI, and also the difference between the beta program, which is 1-week program, and the full course, the training program, which we launch on the 1st of November. One important thing before I hand over to Dr. Mehti, so she can give her introduction as well. 3rd of October, we want to launch our website. So if you make haste, you can still apply for the wait list. So we can take you already, and we can consider you into the discount for our full Applied AI Training Essentials program. So do please, you have just, I think, 15 days left now. 3rd of October, when the website, the whole platform goes live, the rest of the world can see it. There will be an enroll button, but the discount goes away. So then if you have waited too long, then unfortunately you may not be getting a discount. But once again, the amount is not so high, so we don't think that should be a problem. I fully understand that you need time to actually evaluate and get full understanding of, well, what is LiveaI? Who are these people? As a background, I have been teaching. I'm an educator. I've been in academia for a long time. I left academia in 2008. Which is not far from where I live. And I wanted to gain experience in the industry. And this is how the whole idea of bringing applied AI projects came to my mind long time ago. I wanted to fulfill this vision, actually. The only thing is, either you're stuck in academia, so you only talk about theoretical concepts, or you go into the industry where you just focus on a few specialistic skills, but do not have a broad understanding of the theoretical concepts, because you essentially use tools, right? Software tools and all these tools that actually take care of everything for you. So there's always something you miss in both these domains. So my goal actually was to bring all these, my practical experience working with large enterprise customers, setting up data platforms for large companies, from small and mid-sized companies to multi-billion-dollar companies, even establishing innovation funds, research and development funds, to establish data lakes and data marts around all these organizations. All that experience is what we are distilling when we are bringing this into LiveaI. So I'm bringing my industry experience as much as Dr. Mehti and my other instructors as well, who have the similar experience. And then we are bringing it together and putting the context around what is it to actually work on a customer's project. And we will go into detail actually to give you a really interesting perspective around the Hive projects. So currently, so I hope this is clear, Krishnamurthy, with the schoolyard concept. Now it's very super exciting. I'll give you a walkthrough as well of the platform. So please stay along. I want to hand over talking, and as an educator, I think that's my weakness, but I'm sure you will benefit from my conversation, as you can learn from me, from all the things that I have done in the industry, in oil and gas sector, in the services industry, in telecom industry, in retail industry, in also governmental industry. So these are the kind of things that you will be gaining experience. But that's not it. That is not just it. I am actually so excited because when I have people like Dr. Mehti, and I have Dr. May and Dr. Parashikas, and there's another very talented researcher we will be onboarding who's actually worked with some fascinating real world products and solutions. The whole goal is to actually really make you real world data scientists. I don't know, some of you guys may have seen me in UTDallas. I've been coming there for the last 3 years. I'm a visiting faculty there. I've always given you advice that was a bit direct. The reason is the reality in the market is quite harsh. I face it. My colleagues, Dr. Mehti, she's in Toronto. I'm in Amsterdam. We know this whole thing. We cannot pretend and avoid the pink elephant, which is in the corner of the room, and say, okay, well, let me give you some nice trainings and essentially, good luck with your future. We want to really tell you and explain to you and show you how you do real world projects. That is probably the most important thing that is underrated and has not been sort of discussed in large detail with consumers and with students and with professionals around the world. I think that is something we want to address. It's important to address that because that is that pink elephant. That is that boogeyman you are avoiding. Because when you, for example, I'm also an employer. I'm not just an educator. If you come to me and if you're asking me that you went to do a training program in some MOOC platform there or another education platform there, my question will be, what is it that you did? Show me how you built that product. How did you create that pipeline? And then explain me the fundamentals. It is important for me as an employer because I want to be sure that the things that you have learned, you can actually do it when you're entering the door to get a job inside my company. I don't want to spend 6 months of my time teaching you because, first of all, AI industry is moving very fast. It's transforming. So if I start educating you, I will lose my goals. I have to educate the whole team, and I need people to be educating themselves. And that's that experience we are going to be giving you with LiveaI. But I will give you a walkthrough, a full product walkthrough in a few seconds. I want to give it to Dr. Mehti. She's going to be one of our key instructors throughout this program. As I said, she's a management team member. But please, Dr. Mehti, an introduction from you.
Hi, thanks, Terry. Hi, everyone, again. So my name is Tanishta. I prefer if you call me Tanishta. Dr. Mehti seems, oh wow. But yeah, also you can call me Danny, a shorter form of my name. So yeah, a bit about myself. I completed my PhD in geophysics from University of Calgary about 2 years back. And then I did a short postdoc, but then I I thought that I want to really join some AI industry, get real hand experiences. Academics pull you somewhere, like you are working by yourself, and you don't have much collaboration, you don't know people around. But yeah, so I've been with Deep Kappa since then, and it's been a very wonderful experience. But today I want to share Petai, one like a what the thing I we kind of like I'm a co-founder of it. So what is Petai? It's so that, like Terry mentioned, we do real world projects. So Petai is basically an initiative where we try to understand everything Earth. So what do I mean everything Earth? It's like energy, in aspects of energy, in aspects of earthquake, in aspects of other materials like unconventional resources, stuff like that. So like it's been very active for the past 1 year, and we did a lot of AI work. We invented quite a good number of algorithms. We've been presenting all over the world in conferences. We do have publications and stuff like that. And my team members are awesome. They are really like very educated. They really love working there. And also I thought that like we will also bring our inventions to Hive, like as Terry mentioned. So I'll be talking about it just a bit while. So as a lead instructor for Live AI, I'll be mostly teaching like week 2, where you'll be actually learning machine learning algorithms. That is starts from building. How do you build machine learning algorithms? It starts with statistics and probability, and then we'll walk through all the machine learning concepts, supervised, unsupervised, and stuff like that. And you will also have a lot of experiences in different materials. We have as Terry mentioned about the schoolyard team, so they'll be also helping you along it. Also, at the end of it, you'll know how to deploy machine learning pipelines. Like I know many people doesn't teach that, but it's also we are going to go industrial, like we'll show the commercial side of it. So yeah, so it's a total pipeline for week 2, and I'm excited to like go through it. Terry, do we want to go interactive with that, or I can
Yeah.
go? Yeah, sure, we
Yes.
can.
Do you? I can also do it. Let me do it, and maybe it's you can. You can also actually, you
Yeah,
can give
sure.
them the walkthrough. I will do the interactive.
Yeah,
In the
definitely.
mean, yeah. While I'm joining the screen, maybe can you answer Krishnamurthy's question? This question.
Um, so it's I don't think we really have a prerequisite for that. You have to be enthusiastic to know. Uh, so many people would ask Python basics. That would be something, but I think we are going through that mostly on week 1. So that won't be an like a I'm sorry, that's like would be a bottleneck to go forward for the course. Anything, we have a lot of materials. Schoolyard team is always there. So yeah, so I think you should just come and okay learn and be prepared, like yeah, find this projects. I mean, I'm excited to teach, so I think it will be
Exactly.
fine.
Thank you. So, in terms of prerequisite, actually, this is for beginners and intermediates. So, you do not need to have very in-depth understanding of, let's say, Python. We are not saying you should be, you should understand object-oriented programming in Python, because it's not about programming, guys. It's about understanding the scientific libraries that Python makes available for you, and these are the ones you actually use in order to do the transformation. That's all, when I say transformation, we will obviously go into detail explaining all that in also the beta class, which I will be teaching personally to you guys. And essentially, there you will see that you're actually using these tools. Just call them tools. Actually, you shouldn't even call the programming languages, because Python is a tool. You will use visualization tools to understand how your model looks like, how the data looks like, if you have your data organized and balanced. So essentially, the prerequisites are you need to have fundamental and basic understanding of obviously high school, elementary maths with some matrices understanding. I'm sure all of us have studied matrices in 11th grade. And I don't know, back then, I think 25 years ago, I studied in 11th grade, but maybe these days kids are learning at a much earlier age. And I think those are the fundamentals, actually. And that's why you have the week one. I will go through that. Let me just go through that, Krishnamurti. I will explain that. And Karthikeyan also has a question. I will ask Tanishta to answer that question after I've given you a walkthrough, Karthikeyan. So thanks for asking. We will put that question right away. Let's go through this walkthrough, guys, and let's kind of show you what is coming, actually. So in this case, I have already signed up, and as an instructor, I've already logged in. So this platform, what you see here, is right now, you will have your course page, for example. Let me just, here. So here your course page, and essentially you will see here what you will learn. So guided projects, you have classroom sessions, and this is actually where your schoolyard team is constantly around you and making sure that you will be learning and if you're succeeding in your projects on a daily basis. So there are 6 days to each week. So we will have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. So the day starts, essentially the day starts on Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then in your case, I think we've agreed for beta Dallas, UTDallas students and community, we've agreed that the 4th of October, we will give you the final day, because we just wanted to make sure that you guys are available and do it in the weekend. But we will make sure that all that information is given to you guys. But essentially, each week has 5 days. And this is how it looks like. This is, by the way, the full program. And obviously, you only get to play with this week. So, no, not my apologies, not this week. You get to play with on this week. And this is what I will teach you. So, for example, for Krishnamurti and other students who may have questions, and here, I go through the introduction. We talk about building our first deep learning model, introduction to how computer vision has actually transformed the industry, right? So convolution neural networks are the ones that are literally the backbone of computer vision. And then I will also have a live session just like this. So essentially, it's not that you see some recorded videos and you have to do grading. You will have me as well, and then I will sit with you in a live session. And then you will ask me questions like, okay, this didn't work out, that didn't work out. I need to actually, I'm a final year student. What should I actually do? It could be anything. So I will give you personal career guidance, and all these things will be all involved in my live interaction with you. And you will obviously not be just sending me texts like you're doing right now here. We will have a proper session in which you can ask me. So we will be talking with each other on video and voice, and we will have real dialogue with each other. It's really, really personal. That's what the whole goal is. The goal is to distillize and put all my learnings and experience into your hands, so you can actually step out and say, okay, well, I think I understand what I'm doing now. I know why am I doing what I'm doing. And that's how I can build my real world projects. And that's what this live session is about. Then I go into hands-on implementation. Then we talk about language models, starting with obviously recurrent neural network and using, for example, time series forecasting and those kind of really interesting things to make predictions, whether it is, making predictions on how much energy you will use as a consumer in your home in the next 3 months. Or it could be energy consumption prediction for an energy grid center. So those kind of things. And energy AI is what, as Dr. Methi, or as Tanishta, I should say, she is actually the founder and creator of this whole Petai project within Deep Kapha. And we will share the links also with you, so you get a full understanding. I think that's the question which Karthikeyan asked. And I will open up a page, and I will let Tanishta explain. We have a full page on LiveaI, our commercial company. Anyways, going back to this week, so you will see me talking about introduction to other language models. I'm sure you have seen all these things in the news around the GPT, the pre-trained models which OpenAI has, and making all kinds of interesting text generation. We will teach you around language models. There are many, many interesting models. It's not just only GPT. So there are some interesting things I will. So each day there's going to be a theory lecture, and then there's going to be coding session. So actually, essentially, each day you're doing some things, and we will constantly be guiding you. Now, finally, when we reach the last day, which is the sixth day, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and in beta, in your case, UTDallas, it will be a Sunday, because I agreed with Professor Jay that it's probably more convenient for you to do it on Sunday. But in any case, you can actually rush also and say, hey, listen, I want to finish it in 3 days. Go ahead, you can do it. So those are the kind of things you decide your own pace. But for the ones who are saying, actually, I'm just starting now, and I want to actually fully understand what this is, we will give you full daily nuggets and sort of interesting information, including additional resources, which will be here. So you will get a lot of information, but we will make sure that the information overload is, you're being protected from that. And then we give you each day a daily sort of theory lecture, practical hands-on coding, and then in that I will also explain why you're doing this, how does it work, and that's how it looks like. And that will be a week, sort of a full week. Now let me just go back and probably sort of talk about the whole course, which you haven't applied for. Maybe if you have, if you're on the wait list, then you get to actually see this whole course. So this course, the week 3 is, as you can see here as well, this is for UTDallas, right? So the UTDallas, we're doing a beta, but the whole world is invited. If you're a student from anywhere in the world, you can already, send us a mail or reach out to us and or just apply. You just have to go to liveai.eu and UTDallas beta, and you can actually apply. And we will share that link here as well. So don't worry about it. I will share this right away. So you can actually apply for it, and we can make sure that you get, we pull you in immediately, because there's only 6 days left. So you better hurry. Let's go back to the course overview. So this is the first week, and I believe there was another student, he had asked me, a first year graduate. I had a great conversation with him last night. He had asked, okay, so, well, I'm not so great in Python. In fact, it's interesting that he told himself to me that I think Python, I would give myself a score of 3 out of 10. So actually, you don't have to really worry about all that, because here in the beginning, I will give you a first overview. I will provide you all the free resources that you need to basically start already getting sort of geared up. And that helps you actually understand the fundamentals. So we will keep it simple. We will keep it simplified, so you don't actually struggle with that. Now, this is just the program overview. You will see all that coming, including the full learning path, which I will show you. And then this is week 1, essentially. So programming basics. We call it programming basics, but actually, essentially, like I said, it's a tool. So, this essentially, you're taking Python, and using all the other scientific libraries, as they call it. And there is a website also called SciPy. And they're basically SCIPY, so scientific Python. And it's all part of the scientific Python libraries like NumPy, which is numerical Python, etc. And there I will explain you the fundamentals of how do we use these scientific libraries to actually create our AI models, which people actually call a neural network. So we will teach you all that. And essentially, so in each week, as you can see here, for example, each week, you will see me giving you introductions. So there's always going to be a high-level introduction if you're an experienced data scientist, or if you're an intermediate data scientist, or even if you're a beginner, you get an overview so everybody can kind of reflect back on what their experience is or understand how the world of AI actually looks like. So I give you a high-level overview, and then we talk about the approach of how to sort of, how do we approach the machine learning and deep learning problems. And essentially, getting ready with your data, and giving you all the fundamental understanding of actually how do you construct all these things together in order to make sure that you're prepared to actually do these projects in the real world. So that's the whole goal throughout. And then getting started with these libraries, as I just mentioned. So all these libraries of which belong to Python. We will teach these to you, and you will have, in each week you will have resources. You can always go look back and, okay, so how does it work? I want to actually understand more. Go ahead. You can play around with those resources. They are not graded, so don't worry about that if you're not doing well. We're going to be also adding quizzes to help you actually kind of get up to speed with your skill set. And then obviously we start with we end the week one with your machine learning problem. So that's the week one, and the second week we're going to be doing machine learning solution, and here the same ritual. So I close the week and I open the week, so we kind of have this chat with each other, and then we will do live sessions. So in a way, this is what we're doing right now. So in this case, in this week, me and Tanishta will be there again in a live session, and we'll be just chatting with you guys. So you will talk about some problems you had in the last week, and the things that you're actually going through, and maybe you have some questions around in the first week in any of these areas. And then we start actually building classification models. We also understand what unsupervised learning is. And then we talk also about the practical and the real world aspect, because this is where we think it's important to differentiate between the theory versus practice. So talking about the web frameworks and also understanding what are those tools people use to actually show their projects. Because essentially what you guys want to do, if you are a learner, whether you are a first-year student at a university or you are a professional with 15 years of experience and is wanting to get into the field of data science, what do you need? What you need is that you can go and you're able to show your product or your solution on a phone, that you can demonstrate it to either a customer if you want to do a startup, or to your employer, that you can say, hey, listen, I built this thing and I have this resume. And the boss says, okay, not the boss or the employer says, all right, but that's nice and all that. And then you can show them, okay, let me just show you a web interface, and I created this product as well. We will teach you all that, because that's the whole goal. So we are preparing you to actually build a product eventually in the end. So this week, I just explained.
I'd like to talk about the data set we'll be using for week 2. It's quite
awesome.
Great.
So
so mostly we try to use the data set that we have worked on. No, we can go for week 2. So here we decided to go with the liver cancer data set. It's a very it's not publicly available, but it has been used for academic studies before. So
awesome.
actually, like looking at the real world data set and how to decipher, like make some statistical analysis, building a classification model, also make like pulling it to an unsupervised learning. So these are some really good aspects, like it like the real world data sets can bring about. And also for the final project, like on the day 6, like a graded project, we'll share the data set, and so you guys can play around with it. And of course, looking forward, like if anyone can come with any other cool ideas with that data set, because it's really amazing data set to look around. Like it's a cancer data set, for God's sake. So
awesome.
yeah, that's it for that's probably for week 2. Yeah, and yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Tanishta. I actually forgot. I know that this is a data set Tanishta and me, we were working on, I think, last year. And fortunately, I had saved this data set in our archive. So that is the unique. I think it's great that you remind me, Tanishta. Thank you very much for this. The data sets that we have are the ones we have either worked with our customers. And this is not the data set that is available in Kaggle. If some of you know about that platform, we will teach you about that as well. So these are real world data sets in which we have gone through we have taken sort of laborious pains to organize this data set and make it balanced, as we call it, and essentially then use this data set to come up with some decent classification models. And as Tanishta also mentioned, once we have given you these frameworks, we will constantly be guiding you towards the big dream. Now, what is that big dream? Let's go back to that. And Spencer Miller was the one who had asked me. And Spencer is the first year student. It's really interesting. He sent me an email last night, or at least a message on LinkedIn, and he was I was really impressed. I think he just joined the university. He still has 3 years to go, And I was really impressed with your profile, by the way, Spencer, because you have 4 years to go, and you're already taking interest in data science right on your first, just first couple of months. I think in 4 years you will master this. You will probably become even much better than us, which would be awesome, which would be great to see, because we have some teaching assistants who are part of our community now. We have Dat. Dat is actually also a researcher. He is right now still completing his bachelor's at the University of Dallas. And we've had many researchers in the past as well who have been interns and researchers. So there's a very interesting way we also actually bring smart and hardworking and successful learners into Deep Kappa. So we don't talk about it as a feature. A lot of people talk about these kind of training programs as, oh, you get to get experience, you get a job, and we really make it happen for you. We don't want to make too many propaganda claims around, well, we can offer you that. We teach you, we enable you, and we empower you with that. So basically, this is what I was saying. This is very quickly rounded up. So this is week 2, which Tanishta is going to do. This is going to be my session. Deep learning is something which I enjoy sort of teaching you. Projects, and obviously it hasn't been expanded because this is a beta, sort of a separate LMS learning management system for you guys. And in the Hive projects is where we actually bring a real world data set. And I think it might be very good because I know Tanishta has a wonderful data set with her Petai. And maybe it's good if Tanishta explains this to you guys as how we will go about doing it. And I will also be pitching in. But maybe Tanishta, it's good to and see the question which Karthikeyan had. And maybe I can open up the Petai page for you if you want, because this is his question.
Yeah, sure. Well, Terry, probably the Petai page might be so.
Yeah. So let me just open our company page.
But I can give an let's start with the Hive project. So right now we decided with like 4 major topics where people can work on. So yeah, sure. I can just give an overview of Petai. So Petai, as I told, that is everything Earth. So we are currently focused with like energy. So we looked at a different like we have a project with oil and gas company. So there we are kind of looking at like a phases analysis and like how to automate those processes. So our novel architecture, like the one that we kind of invented, and it's really performing quite well than what's existing right now. So this is at AdaptNet. My teammate Kuamer will be presenting this next week. So this is what we are doing for oil and gas part. Then we also have a geothermal part of it, which is like an unconventional resources. So we work with that. We apply AI analytics to that. So we've been also trying to work and see if we can figure out potential geothermal spots. Um, Also, there is work with will log data that is very common in oil and gas industry. So we are trying to invent some kind of algorithms, which is also automating the process of well log detection. So this is our these are the like it's a growing partner, but this is the place we are working. There's few more partners we need to add them to, but yeah, this is mostly like our Petai work. But what will Petai bring to Hive? That's the connection. So that's where I want to discuss. So let's say the Earth AdaptNet. That's where we our invention, right? So we will bring this data set to you. We'll give this data set. We'll talk about our Earth AdaptNet, how this is actually like what's the research behind it, why it is kind of doing a much better job of classifying phases than some other baseline models. We'll also talk about what study was done before and how we improved it. So we'll have a idea how you can go about a real life project, like real world project, like when someone gives you a data set, like where do you look about for an architecture? Like, I know if people know, like, there's a unit, so it's not always unit that will help you in any kind of classification problem like that. So we'll go about and teach you how this we develop this architecture. You have a chance to play around with it. Also, very happy to see if anyone comes up with new ideas to like improve the model, or like provide a solution around it. That will be a very nice way to approach too. So that's how the hive would kind of work. So these are text to kind of the data sets that people have never looked at, but these are actual real world data sets that yeah, you can work around it. Yeah, Terry, you can
Awesome.
add about healthcare and the
Sure.
other features you
Yeah.
have.
Perfect. Wonderful. I think you summed it up very well, Tanishta. So that is just one of the few projects that we will be doing in Hive. So Hive, the concept is just like the beehive, like the bees. We thought of this concept. We said, okay, well, you teach people the fundamentals. That's the week one. You teach everybody else the algorithms and models in machine learning. That's week two. You go and deep dive into deep learning. That's week three. But then, how do you teach people to actually go from these theoretical and little bit Jupyter notebook project exercises to something real world? So the first important thing we thought was that we need to give you this experience as if you were doing this project for a customer. And all the framework is going to be around, we will create a project statement. You will have to actually solve the problem. You will have to present your solution. And sure enough, we will be there with you. So it's not like, oh God, I mean, I'm left alone and all that. We will give you all the fundamentals. So essentially, you get a lot of good understanding around how these models are. Why do I use this model to actually make this inference? Can I improve this model? How about accuracy? How accurate are these models? And their applications in the real world. Can I apply these models to another industry domain? And so energy, obviously, the models that in AI people use sometimes also learn from other industries. So let me jump into AI for healthcare. So AI for energy is where Tanisha is going to be driving. AI for healthcare, I will be driving together with May. And so we're going to be talking about breast cancer, a project in which this is not a normal breast cancer project, which people might think. This is a very different breast cancer project which is not available on internet. So we obviously will have an agreement with you guys, so you don't publish, or there has to be some formal way of establishing that, because we are sharing with you some really interesting things. And there has to be some legal framework to make sure that it doesn't get published online. We do, however, encourage you to publish your achievements and the certification that we will give you online. Your achievements, when I say achievements, I mean you should be able to set up your own GitHub. You should be able to show the code and the learnings and everything else. But it's we will not be allowing for you to actually share the data set, because as you can imagine, there are a lot of issues around data privacy, especially when you work with customer data sets or proprietary data set. Now, okay, we've cleared that out of the way. So AI for healthcare will be jumping into some specific areas around breast cancer and looking at data set that actually is looking at the cellular level and not at the tissue level. So that's like super fascinating. I've been playing around with data sets for a long time. And when we had this project come to me, we were quite baffled. And as Tanishta mentioned, UNet, which is essentially, it looks like a U. So that's why we call it a UNet, was a framework that was developed by some German researchers who were trying to tackle the same problem in healthcare. So we realized, the UNet, does it work? We tried with UNet, and it it was not that easy. Then we used some transfer learning. It's a method we will teach you in the training what it is. And then we were able to see the model perform very well. So that's where you will look at the healthcare industry as well, as from the lens of a pathologist or a histopathologist. Similarly, we will also look at the data set in climate AI. Climate AI is a very, very big sort of movement. And that is also where we will try to bring our expertise from our own. And we are, as we speak, preparing our data set for that. This is actually an award-winning project which we have won with the European Commission. We already have funding for this project, and we actually want to give you this sort of taste of climate AI. I mean, you go ahead and look on our website, realai.eu, and I want you to kind of explore it because we want to really taste it and sort of learn from this. And the whole idea is, oh, my apologies. The whole idea is to basically give you the sort of the flavor and the taste of how it is. So those are the kind of sort of projects we will be working with you guys, and we will for candidates who are experienced or maybe who are in the intermediate stage. We will try to give you also some interesting assignments that will allow you to actually keep expanding your journey. And in order to make it interesting for you guys also, for example, let's say you did this energy project and you did healthcare project, and even if you end up completing the other project in climate AI, there's always sort of bonus points that you get, which you can always sort of claim in if you want to take another course, because this is not the only course that's launching. Just to be very clear, AI Essentials is a precursor to what is going to be coming. We're going to be having 7 trained courses in the lifetime of LiveaI. We don't want to expand it to become sort of a dramatically huge collection of courses. We want to make sure to help you become experts in this field. We want to make sure that you understand the importance of learning the essentials, because that's what you actually need to be successful in your job or in your internships with your customers. And that is what we're going to be giving you. Obviously, there are 3 tracks that we want to launch as well. There's going to be a separate track for computer vision. It's going to be a detailed track, which is coming in Feb next year. There is NLP track also coming beginning next year. And there's explainability in AI, which is a very, very important topic we are going to be releasing soon, I think in December. So what I'm trying to say is this. The Applied AI Essentials is actually a project that is actually a project, sort of 5 weeks project that you're doing with us. And once you're out of that project phase, you could essentially, you will get certification. And we're going to also make sure that for candidates who have actually done very well, we open up our network and our doors to our partners. And our partners will be in a position to offer you paid positions. That is something which I'm working right now with our partners around public publishers, etc. So we will make these announcements as we go, and also during in the courses as well. So there are opportunities for you to also actually start applying your learning in a real paid project as you move forward. So this is not something like, okay, you learn something from us and then you go ahead and say, oh, well, 6 months ago I did a nice energy AI project, and I don't know, I'm not getting an internship in Exxon or Chevron or some other company, or maybe another energy company or geothermal company. And so you can continue to actually keep learning. We make sure that once you get off this, when you finish your Applied AI Essentials, the 5-week track, for students, we are giving you 1 week just so you get a taste of it. But for those who want to take this 5-week track, we want to make sure that we keep pushing you. So this is the most important thing of what LiveaI is. In any platform around the world, people don't sort of look at their alumni and try to understand where they are in their journey. We will. How? We will never cross any cohort beyond 300. We have a cap. We will never do it. Even if we raise capital and investors say you should get thousands of students, we don't want to do it. You know why? Because I do not want to have that a lot of students and learners are slacking or not able to complete their projects and have not learned. So then you're basically burning your money with us. I never want to do that. We've decided 300 and then we stop. Because each and every one of you, we will be following. We will ask you. We will make sure that we are actually helping you in your journey. We're not going to be asking money for career counseling or mentorship and all these terms. We're not going to ask you money. No, it's going to be free, because that's what we care about. We're not interested in creating expensive programs, because this is not a product that we are trying to sell. This is a training. This is education. So we want to make sure that you get this training, you're experienced, you're right now at a point which you have learned more than you were 5 weeks ago. And from there, we want to make sure that you are coming back to us and asking, well, I think I want to do this. Can I do this? Yes. If you need sort of, you can look into our network. We will give you introductions. I will personally recommend you. So it's not like you get some certification from some platform called LiveaI. No, I am going to be personally giving you a recommendation because I want to make sure that the ones who are succeeding and completing all the graded assignments and moving forward, that we recommend you personally because I have taught you. It's not some recorded videos. I have seen you. I know who you are. I know where you come from. I know your background. So we are actually, that's why it becomes very personal. You've seen us talk about personal on internet and it seems very probably distant and aloof, but it is personal because I'm answering. Like for right now, we are here, I'm listening to all of you, and it's my goal to make sure that you succeed. So Suksan, you have a question, and maybe I can answer this, but Tanisha, do you want to answer this question?
You can start, Terry. I'll join. I think
Sure.
it's
So
very
Suksan,
interesting.
sure. I mean, you don't have to be a student. So the thing is, and I'll maybe it's important to again reiterate when we started this conversation. So the program with the students is beta. The beta program is because I am a visiting faculty and I spend the last few years training of outreach and Professor J. Veerasamy, and we want to launch this beta so the students can actually test the product. But you don't have to be a student to join. You can apply. You know, for students we have a heavy discount, but we want to make sure that if you want to apply, please go ahead and apply, and I will do my best to give you something which is affordable for you. So send us an email or just go on to, I'll just post the comments here, liveai.eu. And or actually, let me just send you contact. So you can just send a email to us at contact@liveai.eu, and then we will answer your questions. So essentially, just reach out to us and we will find a solution for you. So that's very important for us because that's why we are capping it to 300. I don't know if from an industry perspective, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't worry too much about it. Like I said, if you're a beginner, you may have experience in a different field. I think you will be much better positioned to learn because you already have the understanding of an industry domain. So if you're coming from a different field or if you're coming from a different academic field as well, we make sure that the journey is easy for you if you do take the full Applied AI Essentials training. Then we make sure that week 1, week 2, week 3, we help you prepare, and we constantly keep guiding you to make sure that you're completing your assignments, that you're making sure that you're understanding, and all these things will keep coming back, and then essentially sort of we make sure that in the end of the 5th week you're actually succeeding. And it's possible, and I didn't mention that, maybe it makes sense to also say that it is possible that some of you will not be able to complete. It's very natural. I mean, maybe you're late or you have some emergency in your family, or for you have exams or anything else. We provide you 90 days. For beta, we will not, unfortunately, because we have to start on the 1st of November. But for the full program, we provide you 90 days after the conclusion of this program. So let's say we start on the 1st November for full program I'm talking about. So we started the 1st November and we finished mid-December. So it continues to stay open 90 days after mid-December for you to continue to answer and complete your graded assignments. So you will be part of the community. It's not like you just finish your course and you're gone. So you're always going to be part of our community. You'll be an alumni, and we'll make sure that we are always in touch with you. So that's our goal. That's our actually grand goal, to make sure that whoever comes into our network leaves. I've trained more than 27,000 people in the last couple of years. I know each and every one of them because I spent the last few years training them. I went all over the world. I went to US, to Canada, to South America. I went to Africa. I went to Middle East, India, China, East Europe, and obviously Europe. I've been all over the place here where I live. So the reason why I did it is because I believed that blended learning is a combination of teaching people real world skills and then bringing it with a personal touch. And that's very important because that's how you remember me and I will remember you. And that's what we are trying to bring into LiveaI. But so back to your question, Suksan, I think that's totally not a problem. Non-students can join. You should either, if you want to take the full course, there's still a discount. You should just jump on the platform or our website, and you can still right now get a discount. LiveaI.eu, and that's the link. You can take a look at it, and you can avail the discount. The 3rd October, the discount goes away. Then it's not as expensive. You can still apply, but do make sure that you download the brochure as well. On the website, you will see the link to the brochure and the curriculum. So that is all out there. And I don't know, I think there's a lot we can show you as well. Maybe one last sort of, go into our platform. So for example, I wanted to kind of show you the course itself. I think, did I start the course? I don't remember.
You can show a little bit on the grading side, Terry, maybe.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, let me just show you. So basically, if you have bought the course, guys, you will see this start the course. It's very normal for you guys to see that the lesson is going to start, because this is for the UTDallas. For the global community, don't worry about the UTDallas. You just have to go here, and then the course for this, the main course starts on the main LiveaI EU website. This URL is going to disappear in 10 days time. So this is only specific which we have for UTDallas, which students can also apply, and also professionals. They just want that 1 week. So the course actually looks just like this, but obviously these are all locked sessions. Every time you complete your session, it unlocks for you, so it's all taken care of for you guys. Let's go back to the grading. So here, so basically, as you saw, these are the things, materials. So you have guided notebooks, you will have live support from all of us, and sample codes, explanations for each and every day. So it's on a daily basis. So that's the course page. The gradebook, let's just open it up. And as you can see here, so I failed, but I think you won't. But this is just my account. So basically, what you see here is you will have your quizzes, assignments, and you'll have your final grade. So it will provide you proper grading, but obviously there's going to be support for you guys to continue to repeat your exams or repeat your graded notebooks. So we'll use Jupyter notebooks in order to do that. And obviously, you will have quizzes. All this stuff is going to be coming to you guys in the next couple of days. We'll make available for the Dallas students. I think around 22nd or 23rd of September, we should sort of launch it all live for you guys. And the purpose is to start the training on the September of the 24th. That is the beta. For candidates who are interested in the full program, I can just quickly show here. So there. So here, here you can see you can download the LiveaI brochure. So you see the full brochure, the vision, the mission that I spoke of in the beginning. You get a flavor of who we are, how I started with this journey, and how today we have close to 20 people just in our LiveaI team that has grown fast so quickly. I have Tanishta, May, Dimitris, Shaumik, Shivam, and lots of other people who, Dat obviously from UTDallas, he's been working very hard with me on the week 3, so he's going to be there with you guys. So make sure that and for those who are interested in the full program, it's still here. As you can see, we've already shaved off 10% off. You can download the brochure here. And I think it's important for you to sort of, get on the wait list. It's very important. So if you just click here, it's going to take you to a Google form. Make sure that you type it. It's pretty simple. And here you can see we've been asking you guys as well. So what is your interest? Neuroscience, healthcare, energy, all these 4 projects we'll be launching. And neuroscience is also a fascinating project. Next week, we're going to talk about it in the next week's session, information session. And there's one tomorrow as well, by the way. So this is where actually you get to apply for this program. And here you have my video, and here I explain to you all the aspects around the schoolyard concept, the hive concepts, why we want to keep it to a limited set of students, and what do we mean when we make it personal, what does it mean when we keep it immersive, and how does the Hive project actually comes alive. And for the students who already signed up for this, you're going to be getting a proper flavor of this as well. So with this, I think this should that's great. I'm happy. Suksan, do please do that. That's a really wonderful thing. So that's great. Suksan has already joined the wait list, which is great, wonderful. And I'm just kind of looking at, is there anything I forgot, Tanishta?
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we spoke for almost an hour. So it's a very down to earth. So just maybe finally, the most important thing is our team, the people that I work with. I'm very grateful to work with Tanishta. She's spearheaded this whole work around Petai. Petai basically is petrophysics AI, so that's how we kind of shortened it to call Petai. And since last year, she's been driving this unstoppably. We've had some really brilliant researchers, and just coincidentally, for people, if you're from India, IIT Kharagpur actually produces really very talented people. That's where Tanishta has done her graduation, and actually that's where she moved to US. Then Kwamar is right now a PhD candidate in IIT Kharagpur. Ayush Srivastava is coming closing to finishing his bachelor's at IIT Kharagpur. So it's kind of almost becoming like an IIT Kharagpur party. But we're having some really other talented people who contributed to this project, like Rifat Arafin. He's played a very important role in this project. He's worked with Professor Bengio and Element AI in a project around climate AI as well. So there are people who are really passionate about the topics that they work with. And these real world projects is what we actually believe is going to differentiate you as a data scientist from the rest of the crowd. And the sooner you differentiate, the faster your learning curve will be. That's the easiest. The longer you take in order to continue to focus on, let's say, mediocre projects and not focusing on your learning, not understanding what else is coming, because essentially in the next 2 to 3 years, AI, which is nothing but machine learning and or deep learning, is going to be dramatically improving. There are going to be efficient models, efficient networks. A lot of focus will be there on using as little data to make better approximations. All these things I will talk about in the courses itself, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to bore you into deep scientific lectures now. But I can tell you it's a fascinating field. And the key is to get a hold of your skill sets, grab industry domain expertise, and then from there, jumping from one industry domain to another, it becomes much easier. And this is what I've seen in our own research group. So, for example, Ayush Srivastava, he's a young student, and I don't know, Tanishta, he reached out to me. He wants to do his PhD. He was so fascinated with the work that he's doing with you and with your team that he now, as you saw, we gave him a recommendation letter as well. But he is now, he just kind of converted. He just said, I want to become a researcher. So sometimes you can also discover your inner calling when you're actually working with experienced people. This is a big difference, and I really mean it. And there have been many times in my career where I have felt alone, and it happens to all of us. No one is devoid of that sort of isolation. It happens because you don't meet your peers with whom you can exchange ideas. When something like this happens, where a bachelor student who probably would be just hunting for a job, 6 months, then they give up, they're frustrated. Oh God, I'm not getting a job. Let me do a master's, and then eventually end up into some job which is unfulfilling, feels very frustrating. It gives me tremendous thrill to see when people actually learn some wonderful and new skills and are ignited and are literally activated with some things that they wouldn't have had if they hadn't worked with each other. So it's all sort of that's a tremendous pride I share with my team, and this is what we want to bring to you actually, and this is what applied AI is, and this is what LiveaI wants to bring out to you guys. Awesome. So I guess we'll have another session. Do share with your friends. If you have some students in the community who didn't sort of see this, We will obviously be showing the recordings of this on other social media the next couple of days. And please do share with other students. We will have another session tomorrow, and if necessary, if there's popular demand, we're going to do it again sometime mid October. There's some cool courses coming. I'm preparing something very fascinating. It's a secret, but I want to kind of keep it till the mid October, and that is going to kind of be really fascinating. And that's going to be a takeaway for you guys, and that's going to be of no cost at all. So those are the announcements that are coming. Get on the wait list. We look forward to seeing you guys in the class, the beta class for the students, and for our full course, which is starting 1st November. So thanks very much. Tanishta, you have any last words?
Well, I don't, but it's a very nice. This was our first info session, right? It's really nice, right? Enjoyable.
Yeah.
The questions were so interesting.
I know. I mean, it's a small audience, but it's fascinating to see that the questions actually are the same. There is a FAQ as well for those who, and you can always, there are many questions that have been answered here. So you will see a lot of these questions in FAQ if you're on this side, and everything is here. So essentially, this is a way for you and I to get to know each other. And the idea, the purpose is get to know us. But the frequently asked questions, we tried our best painstakingly trying to answer all the questions. But like I said, it is personal. That's why you get to talk to me and I get to talk to you. If you're tired of looking at all internet and you say, I want Terry's advice. I want him to tell me why should I learn computer vision in healthcare. Then I will give you my personal and career experience, not some career guidance. I will give you experience, how it has worked for me, how we worked on a dental project, how we worked on a breast cancer project, how we are going to work on a bladder cancer project, how we're talking to another medical institution to talk about kidney or renal sort of cancer project. These are the things that you're going to be learning, and we are super excited to get you guys onto our training program. So thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
love you guys, and take care.
Bye-bye.
And keep asking questions, and stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.